Hi everybody.
Hi everyone.
Welcome to Twinset and Purl's knitting podcast. It's episode 56, but it's a bit of a different episode today.
So now I'm laughing because the number of people we met over the last...
And you didn't do it.
I
Did
did.
you do it?
They say they watch Joe, they listen to Joe saying it and they watch me now. Right. Anyway,
So I'm Jo.
and I'm Rachel.
And we are twin sisters who spend most of our time
Spare time.
knitting.
Your spare time.
Yeah, I work full time. Rachel, well, part time now actually, just to reduce my hours a little bit. Rachel doesn't work. She's retired, and we knit a lot.
Yeah.
So I almost do another full time job knitting in my 24 hours a day.
So
This is a bit of a different episode because we podcast last week with our normal update of FOs
and we
whips
are
and all
going
of
to
that.
try and squeeze in another one of those episodes before Joe goes on holiday.
But in the last 2 weekends, we've done 2 yarn shows.
Yeah.
So we wanted to do a little bit of a highlights, what we liked about each one,
and
what we
bought.
and then like a bit of a summary, what we've bought, and a bit of a summary.
And
at the
then we
end.
have 2 little giveaways, one from each show. So yeah,
Cool.
so we started off the 7th and 8th going to the Southern Yarn Show, which we will put. I think what we'll do is put the Instagram of every vendor that we've purchased from and the Southern Wool Show. Yeah. Rather than you have to listen if you want a particular colourway, or go and look at the vendors, the person's website from. Anyway, so the Southern it's run at Newbury Racecourse, which is it's my closest show, which is why I always go and I really enjoy it. And so it's over 2 days, and there are now, well, for the last couple of years, there's been 2 buildings, and it's just a really nice. There's lots of vendors.
Yeah, it's very disabled access.
Friendly.
And there's lots of space to go and sit and have a cup of coffee or food with, chat to people, which is really good.
Yeah.
Not all shows have that amount of seating available. Obviously, it is a entertainment.
Yeah, it's a
venue,
racecourse.
so it's So
it's there for a lot of people. It's set up for a lot of people to be there.
So it was really cool. We did both days, as you said, and we met up with some of the people both days. Yeah, and then some people one day. So it was really nice. We got to see a lot of people.
I've just thought of another highlight for me. But so we're going to start with the Southern, and I think what we've done is that we've both written down 5 things that we loved about the shows. Yeah. At the end, we will have a summary, and Joe might be comparing and contrasting, but to keep it positive.
Oh, I didn't have very many negatives.
Oh, okay.
I just I definitely liked one of them more than the other.
But so to keep it, we thought we'd do 5 things that our favourite things from each show.
5 highlights. Yeah, and then I've also thought about my favourite vendor, my favourite experience, my favourite purchase, and my favourite food.
Well, I can
food was a big highlight.
Okay, well I can come up with those while we do it. Although some of mine might be a thing. So, shall we start with a highlight that's not related to a purchase?
Yeah.
So I think we both might have this one. Seeing and spending time with friends.
Yeah, that's my highlight. Meeting friends, spending time with Maggie, Lizzie, Mandy, Teresa, and Wool and Wishes.
Yeah. And Joe on the Sunday was getting the coffees and recognised a friend of mine from my crochet group because it's a local yarn show. And she went up to me. She was very brave.
We were all waiting for our coffees to be made.
Yeah.
And I looked at her and I said, I know you. And she said, yeah, you do. She looked at me and I was like, I think I've probably put some weight on since the last time I saw her.
I definitely have.
But
and it was my friend Myra. So
Myra.
hi Myra, I don't know if you watch. We are going to meet up again because we had the last time I saw her was literally just after I relapsed. We met for a coffee. So I do look a lot different. Let's not dwell on that. Yeah, so it was lovely. We sat for ages chatting. And then actually on Sunday I did very little shopping.
Yeah, but it was really nice because of the style of the building and stuff. It meant that you could have a sit around. So it was lovely.
Yeah, so that was one of mine.
That was my top highlight.
My top highlight actually was having my first ever crochet design released at the show with Bird Street Yarn, and that it got lots of love. I think I look a bit boss-up. So I take them off. I think the light's shining on the lenses. I can't read without them. So anyway, so that was the gelato cowl, and it was lovely. So right, should we start with or do you want to go through them all?
Well, we can go through them as we talk about stuff if you like.
Okay. So what was we went straight to Bird Street because we had the samples of the cowl to give them, and also Jo, as you know from the last podcast, has designed a shawl for their one of their reimagined boxes. Yeah. And so we went straight there, and of course, you didn't buy any yarn. I didn't buy any yarn. Quite a bit of yarn. Just get some sorted out a little bit. Yeah, the other thing I just fallen right to the bottom. So there we go. That I got from there. So then I went back afterwards and bought another one, which I'll show you. So they were in the Berkshire stand, weren't they? So for the gelato cowl, there's also the gelato socks which are coming. I just feel like I'm slightly, I don't know.
Yeah, there you go.
I was chatting to Claire, and I knitted those in their colourway Aunt Sally, which is kind of like this, but this is the alpaca silk cashmere blend. And Claire gave me this skein to make a pair of like luxury kind of bed sock gelato socks for when they excuse me, when they come to the trunk. They're doing a trunk show at the Oxford Yarn store in November. Although if I go to Flock, I will hopefully have them done by then. So that was the first thing. And then maybe I'll put things back as I and then I saw this. I've loved Sassy since it came out, really. And it's this lovely corally,
so is that on the
neon
same base?
Pink. That's on the same base. And I bought it because I already own this skein of Symphony on Zebra, and I want to make a Simon with it, but probably a spring Simon, so not my next one, because the next one I thought I was going to knit, I also purchased at this Southern, but then the actual next one I'm going to hope, no, I'm not actually, because you're going to, anyway, blah, blah, blah.
You still got to finish the one you do it in.
I know. So there's 3 Simons basically, but that is a purpose to the purchases, is what I'm meaning. Yeah. So that is going to be a Simon together. And then Claire gave me, for making the samples for the gelato cowl, this skein of Figgy on the baby alpaca silk cashmere for me to make my own gelato cowl for the winter. So I thought that was beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful, purpley burgundy, isn't it? Purple.
It's a purple.
Yeah.
I would say aubergine.
Like a blackcurrant.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
It's not actually quite aubergine. Aubergine's more red.
Yeah.
No, that's gorgeous.
Yeah. So that's Figgy. So, and then you, and I bought one of their bags, which said everything is in.
Oh, it's really cool.
Which says, this yarn is right up
You're up my bird street.
So that's really cool.
And what's that?
That was after we'd been all around the Berkshire
Right.
stand.
Yeah.
We walked back. I had seen this and I could not leave it alone. So it's called Aperitivo and it's this gorgeous orange and this is going to be a new sock design.
Cool.
Hopefully coming soonish. Although there's the other ones, but this is going to be probably for the trunk show as well. So that'll get done.
Yeah.
And then that's all I bought from them.
I didn't buy any yarn.
No.
I saw the Claire's little sock bag on Bex's podcast.
Right.
And I was like, I have to have that. I have to admit, mostly for the tag, because I love the little tag that she's had made. But I really like the little space boys and girls.
They're cool.
And it's just a really cute little sock sack. So I got that, and I got some stitch markers, progress keepers.
Are they a mixture?
No, they're all progress keepers.
I bet they're the kind you could use more easily.
Yeah. But they're biscuits. Very British biscuits, and I love them. There's a digestive.
The iced ring is the part
a
of it.
digestive anise. Custard cream. I really like the custard cream. And there's
Wafer, a pink wafer.
a malted milk, which we call cow
Cow
bits. We've got a cow and a sheep on. And a jammy dodger.
That's really cool.
And then there's a pink wafer, a bourbon, and a party ring.
They're really cool.
A party ring. Actually, which are your favourite? I love a custard cream, and I like a party ring.
I love a cowbick and a bourbon.
Bourbons
So, will forever remind me of the DTU. Yeah, when I go to the church, you get free biscuits. And
you always try and get it.
the day, I always try, if it's a bourbon, then it's a good day. If there's bourbons there, it's a good day. But it also reminds me of that lady who said, as I was putting one into my mouth, sugar causes cancer, you know. And I said, well, it's too late. I need to. That would always remind me of that. Right.
So that was everything got from Bird Street.
Excuse me.
And then, where did we go after? I can't remember where we went after
We
that.
went, the next purchase after
Was that my mohair, the next purchase?
Yes, I think it was.
So I don't know whether I've seen Curated Yarn Co before, but this was also on one of my top 5, was new vendors. So we quite often go to shows and you see...
So that's where you got your bag from?
Yeah, we see the same people, but it was really nice to see some new people. And this lady had this most amazing mohair, which had to come home with me. It's called, the colourway is The Great, and
I actually think we bought this next.
no we didn't, they were after, they were around the corner.
Right.
And it's this lovely jewelled
You just
tone.
saw it, didn't you? And you
I
were
saw
like,
that and I was like, I have to have it. And I'm going to use it on with some black alpaca 2. I bought enough black alpaca 2 to knit another Cecil. My plan is to knit 2 cowls, a Cecil cowl and a ChrisChris cowl. And this is going to be a ChrisChris cowl.
Beautiful.
So
on black.
On
That's
black.
Amazing.
yeah. So that's
Curated
Yarn.
Yarn.
Curated Yarn Co. The Great.
Great.
You see it.
Very
Kind
nice.
of goes from this sort of tealy green through
Yeah.
green to
Yeah.
yellow. Right. It's lovely.
Then I bought this bag. We saw these. I really like the denim project bag, and this was Joe Knit Sew, and we saw this one. And I had to have it, killing it every damn day. So that was a very. I had to transfer a project into that to start using it soon, and then I bought this. The rest of my that was on Saturday.
I bought this. These ladies were next door to Claire and John. So when we went back and you got your aperitivo, I was looking at this. Fey Folk Fibres, and it's a merino baby alpaca silk single, and I'm going to knit a one skein shawl in that, and I just love it. The colourway is
it's like sunflower.
How do you say that? Sally,
Saille,
and it's it's this lovely kind of natural with almost like sunflower.
What's that going to be?
Speckles. I'm going to knit a page. I think just a one skein garter.
I need to knit one.
I was thinking that I would take it on holiday as a.
I think I got this first from the knitting gift shop. You got something there as well.
Yeah.
And mine's going to be a one skein as well. I got this skein of yarn, which is merino silk, 75/25, and that doesn't have a colourway. It's from the knitting gift shop. It's shades of Weardale, and it is it's organic Falklands merino. Very nice, and it's going to be a one skein Morris. Might be a birthday cast on or a.
And I also got the cutest thing.
Yeah, the cutest. Is that on your list?
No.
I've
forgotten about them, to be honest. I got this little I can't resist a tiny pair of scissors. And I saw these and I thought, oh, they're so cute. Little antique scissors. And they'd be quite good for the aeroplane because the blades are definitely under 3 inches.
Yes.
So yeah, that was from the knitting gift shop as well. Right. So then we went into the other building.
Yeah.
And we went to see Kelly and Nick at Lay Family Yarns. They had kits for Ruthie. And he was also wearing...
And they had kits for Simon. He was just picked 2 colours.
He was wearing Simon. So that was on my list.
So on my list was Bird Street Yarn, seeing John and Claire. And the other thing that happened at their stand was that's on my list is podcast fans coming up to us, and nearly everyone. It was so lovely. They said, "Here, you're my favourite podcast. You're my favourite podcasters," and it was just so lovely. And then Joe helped her choose some yarn.
So that was on my list
at
too.
the Bird Street.
That was on my list.
Australian
meeting
Deb.
our fans.
Yeah.
And she wants us to do a retreat. She wants us to do a Twinset and Purl retreat. So we were like, that sparked an idea.
Yeah.
We'll have to see if we can do that.
So we both bought...
Well, anyway, back to Lay Family. So that was on my list, was
people
seeing
wearing
kits of my patterns on stalls and hoping that it helps them sell some yarn.
Yeah. And also the fact that people were seeing the Simon on the men. Yeah. And buying yarn to knit their sons and their husbands' Simons. So it was very... I think Simon was definitely a hit. We sold quite a few patterns over the weekend, and the green Morris that I knitted in Brando from Bird Street Yarn, they sold out of Brando because of that. So that was very cool. Yeah. So back to Lay Family Yarns. We'd never met them in person. on a Zoom. We'd seen them on a flock Zoom during lockdown.
Yeah.
Or Kelly, not Nick.
Yeah.
But it was lovely to finally meet them, and I chatted away to them. And I bought the skein I wanted was Gaynor from Tales of Cuckoo Land,
and also Gaynor Jane. She is now as well.
She the knitting is Tales of Cuckoo Land. So she came up with this colourway was from her phone case, her biodegradable phone case that she has. That she picked. Yeah, she wanted to have a yarn that with the same colour in it. It's called Herkle Durkle, and she was signing them when she was there, and she was signing them. So it says Love Gaynor. And Herkle Durkle is to lie in bed, lie around doing something
longer than
you should. Like you shouldn't. Yeah.
Yeah, should be getting up.
Like lounging around. So it's knitting basically in bed. It's Herkle Durkling. So that's my Herkle Durkle. And which one did you? Very
similar, but a bit stronger speckle.
Oh yeah, yours is like a bit more autumnal than mine.
This is called Mr. Fitzwilliam, and I feel like I should know what that reference is, but I don't.
No, so if you can tell us in the comments.
But yeah, I love those speckles are me.
Yeah, lovely.
So yeah, that'll probably be socks or a one skein.
I think mine might be a one skein because I can see that more as it's a bit pale for socks really for me. But yeah. And then we went to Knitting Shed, I think. And that was just before we went home. Oh, that's from One Wishes. So have you been to the Knitting Shed before we went upstairs for coffee with them?
I did Knitting Shed on 2 days.
Yeah, so did I. Let's leave Knitting Shed and do
So I got this.
Oh yeah, which I love.
This little bag
from
Gail
Made by
me,
me, but Gail.
Gail Made by Me, is it called?
Yeah.
Lovingly by Gail. And I just loved the fabric. It's skeletons doing all different things. It's like they're like some kind of card game in a fabric.
It's very cute.
And it's just perfect for knitting with socks or knitting with a one skein shawl until the shawl gets too big to fit.
Like carrying it around the house.
But yeah, I just love that. The colours, everything about it is just, and it's got this fabric, flowery print fabric inside. I just really love that.
Lovely.
Yep.
Lovely. And so then should we do that? Or should we?
Does it matter?
No, it doesn't matter. I was thinking if we did the last thing of the day, and then we can talk about the Knitting Shed.
Because I got that on.
Okay, well,
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter because we went. I got more on the Sunday. More
Deciding
yarn.
what we're doing is more annoying than whether we do one thing or the
so
other.
So we met up with One Wishes, and we
were very delighted.
Yeah, it was so lovely just to see them. But they gave us a little gift, and it was a little skein of yarn. That's
and the progress
called, the colourway is Tracy's favourite colour, I love it. And a little sheep progress keeper.
That's really cool.
Yeah. And I also, which Tracy had forgotten on the first day, but when we saw her on the second day, she bought it for me. I'd purchased from her website, she is the Crafty Valentine on Etsy, this little sock sack that I couldn't resist. I went on it and it was the last one, this pattern. And I just love the little fox. Joe mentioned how cute the woodpecker is.
Yeah.
We just love it. And the mushrooms. And I'm knitting my socks in it, and the yarn inside just, the fabric inside just goes to my yarn so well. So I love it. Love it, Tracy. It's very well made. And she also gave me some stickers, which I won't show them all, but the top one is wonderful. Balls of sheep, and it says 100% wool. And that's going to go on my notebook. My 30 minutes of knitting.
Right.
Cool. So let's do knitting shed then.
Okay. So they were my favourite vendor, I think. It's very hard because I loved so many vendors, but I got most yarn from them.
Yeah.
And
mine is a tie.
I love their bases.
Yeah. Mine's a tie.
Okay.
Between bird sheet yarn and blue fern yarns. So
yeah.
But I did get some lovely. I also got some lovely stuff from the knitting shed, and Knitting is just lovely, and they also gave me some lemon drizzle cake. So
I was looking for some merino linen, and they had the most beautiful merino linen on their stand.
It doesn't even look like linen, Jo.
No, I got 2 skeins.
The way it's dyed, I mean.
Yeah, I got 2 skeins to knit a Simon. It's going to be quite a subtle Simon. The blue is called Sea Witch. And the brown is Salted Caramel.
And we also got Maggie. Maggie's going to sample knit an Axminster for us. Our first ever sample knit.
And then she chose some yarn for doing it.
And I was sat on my walker on the edge there thing, having a chat with Louise about lemon drizzle cake. And to my just here was a pair of socks, and I was like, I need that yarn, that sock set in my life. It's amazing. And this was it. Is it? And I think this is called Mordor. I think I knitted with it.
It's the colour I used for Axminster.
Is it? Oh, it's not then. Mine must have been bluer. Yeah, I think it was. Maybe it's not. Maybe mine was blue, more navy. The one I had. That was the first ever skein I bought from them, and I saved it and saved it and saved it. Knitted a colourwork pair of socks with it that didn't fit me, and I gave them to my friend. But I used every single little bit of it in socks and stuff like that, and it came with these 2 lovely minis, and it's kind of like a stripy. The one I saw, and at Unravel I saw a different one. There was a colourwork sock, but this was a stripy kind of double knitting, double like 2x2 rib and stripes. And so I thought I didn't get the pattern, but I thought I could kind of do something similar, and it's lovely. And then on the...
We also got some mohair.
Yeah, well, this was the very last minute purchase, wasn't it? I saw this. I was stood waiting for Jo, because on Sunday, Jo's friend Lizzie came, and was it her first yarn show?
Yeah, her first only yarn show.
Yeah, so I stayed chatting to friends, and Jo went off and spent a bit of time with her friend and went round, and then they were meeting. We were going for lunch with our other friends. We were leaving to go for lunch, and I saw this while I was waiting for Jo, and it's mohair silk, and it's called Firefly. And then I also had this one, which is called Frosted, and I don't know, I think they're going to be something with a third. Although I did say to you that I was going to hold them double and knit a Simon cowl with just that. It is lovely.
And then I got this really moody, which is Winter in Narnia, and the light's not very good today, is it? But it is that colour.
Yeah.
It's kind of slightly lighter bits, but then this my lovely murky green.
Yeah. So it's beautiful. Look at that.
That would go so well with those knitting for Olive colours that I got.
That would be amazing.
I'll have to think of something to do with all of that.
Yeah. Cool.
And then we also got, and where did we get that from?
This was from the lace, it's like the lace knitting shop or something like that.
So
they had a thing of Stellaris each. And this is for a Christmas sock design that I've got in my brain.
And mine is to go in a sweater.
Yeah.
That I've got some Coast from Holzgarn.
And then I purchased this from Demelza's Delights. She was one of the first, because we'd done most of maybe a third of the grandstand.
Yeah.
On the Saturday. So we went back on Sunday and we just did the bits we haven't done. Well, Jo did a lot. Jo did it again because you were with Lizzie. And we saw this lovely stand, wasn't it? We were chatting away to her. She loved you were wearing your Cecil, so she bought Cecil. This is called Flowers in the Rain on Sparkle Sock. So I picked one of her colours and it comes with this lovely stitch marker. Flower.
Are you going to knit socks with that?
I think so, although I don't know, it's very similar to my other Musselburgh that I
with sparkle.
No, it was the
no.
I haven't got one in sparkle, but it might be a different hat, not a Musselburgh.
Can I have the progress?
It's a stitch marker.
Oh right.
You can have the stitch marker, turn it into a progress keeper if you want. You're very welcome to it.
And then I bought this there as well. Not there.
You went there, and this lady, unfortunately, had all her stuff out, and then she had a stand of stuff in front, and I couldn't get into the stand.
Yeah.
But she did have stuff around the side, but I was a bit annoyed. You were in there like a magpie, rooting around. So they had like kimonos, velvet jacket, velvet long coats.
I would have loved a velvet kimono, but I didn't purchase one of those. I purchased a bag instead.
How much were the kimono? Were they?
95.
So that's not. I don't think that's bad.
No.
But you had that, and then we met our friends for a coffee, and she went off and bought one in a plum colour.
Yeah. I just love the colours.
What's it like inside?
It's beautiful inside. It's got like that.
Surrey material.
Sari material.
Yeah.
No, it's like cotton that's been quilted in stripes.
Yeah. Very nice.
Yeah, well, that's a really lovely bag.
But opposite them,
I don't know what I'm going to put in there. But
opposite them was
that was this lady, wasn't it?
Fabazar.
Exquisite Handmade Style Emporium.
Fabazar. Yeah. Anyway.
Bronwyn.
So while Jo was looking there, behind the stand this side was Blue Fern Yarns, which is our lovely friend Shannon. And Shannon has always, she was one of the first people I ever saw the yak face, and she dyes it beautifully. If you've ever seen her podcast with her mum, it's called Norfolk Girls Knitting, I think.
Yeah.
Norfolk Knitting Girls. Anyway, they did a painting bricks.
Stephen West.
It's when she did a podcast on her own because it was her first ever shawl she knitted.
Yeah.
And it's in the yak. And you've bought the undyed, haven't you?
No, I've got bark, which
Right.
is a dark brown,
Right.
which I haven't used yet.
Ooh, that's the colour of the season.
Is it?
Brown.
Yeah.
So I saw these two and had to get them for Simon. So that one is ink and it's a really dark navy.
When you think of ink, it's exactly what you think.
And that is lobster on the yak. And I also ordered it. She'd sold out of the yak. She had three colourways for Halloween. And I can't remember the name of mine because I can only remember the name of the speckle one, which is Basic Witch. Mine is, it's like navy and ochre, and it was on the sock base. It had the white like undyed patches, and I don't really like. I didn't really. I wanted it on the yak, and I asked her if she did it on the yak, and she sold out. So I've ordered one of those.
The very last thing,
and that was it for yarn.
Yeah, the very last thing I got was this moth fragrance to spray on your linens. They were lovely company.
Yeah.
I didn't buy any of the moth killing stuff, but
just moth repellent.
Yeah, somebody did. Maggie did. So I'm going to find out how Maggie gets on, and then but no, I just got some of this linen spray.
Right. So how are we doing? 35 minutes. Oh, I need to put it all away.
Anything else? Anything else?
Oh yeah, on the list.
Oh.
No. What we?
So I had my favourite vendor was the Knitting Shed.
Yeah. I've said mine.
My favourite experience was meeting Debbie from Australia. And favourite purchase was the mohair from the Knitting Shed.
I think my favourite purchase was the project bag. Getting it.
Yeah. And my favourite food was the ice cream.
Yes.
That we had.
A lovely ice cream.
The actual food was nice. Jacket potato I had.
I had
but the process of ordering it was a bit chaos. And that would be my only criticism.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, I don't.
I wouldn't. It wasn't really a criticism.
I have
just
to say
took a bit a long time.
For me, well, this is already comparing the two. When we came back on Saturday after Southern, I was absolutely exhausted, and I don't know if it was because I hadn't slept well the night before, you know, that kind of thing. But yeah, I was like, I just sat and watched television. Didn't even knit. Didn't do anything all that evening, and we had the whole evening. It wasn't like we stayed until the end.
We did. We got kicked out
on the Saturday.
Yeah.
Who are we talking to?
Wool and Wishes, and the guy came around and kicked us out.
Right. Yeah. Anyway, but it was. Yeah. So what were the things? What were the vendor?
Favourite vendor, favourite food, favourite experience, and favourite purchase.
Right. Yeah. So I've said them.
Cool. So we'll start on. So then we had a week at home. I went home in the torrential rain. The journey back to Bristol was awful.
And we'd gone to have a Sunday roast with Mandy and Tracer, and in a pub that I've been to a few times. The food was lovely, but they forgot our order, and we were just chatting away, and it must have been 50 minutes before we realised. And then it took them a little while to bring it, and then it was but that kind of spoilt it a little bit. But apart from that, it was lovely to chat to them.
Yeah, and they were staying another night,
right, so that made it not a problem, I think.
Yeah,
but for you had to then go back.
Well, it was fine, but I just got caught in the most torrential rain.
Yeah.
You literally couldn't see.
We were driving back. We had hardly any distance to go at all. My husband came to pick me up from there, and he missed the turning to the 34 twice. And we were like, oh, it's a magical mystery tour. We'll just carry on. We're so near. We must be able to get back. And at one point, I said, just put the sat nav on. I'm going to go all the way back the way we come. Which. I would say it's not untypical.
I stopped
for my husband.
Yeah, I stopped at motorway services and bought a packet of licorice all sorts, and I was sorted then for the way home.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Right. So
Unravel.
So
Unravel, for anybody who doesn't know, is held at the Farnham Maltings twice a year. And the one in February is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and the one in September is just Friday and Saturday. And there are less vendors at the one in September.
And it is much quieter.
Yeah. So if you don't like crowds, the one in September is a really good show to go to. There was very little queuing to get in.
No queue for coffee.
We chatted to a lot of the vendors. We knew a lot of vendors there, and they said the atmosphere was a bit. There wasn't really atmosphere, but they'd done well. So we were worried that there were so few people that people wouldn't have made enough money to want to come and do it again, because it is a lot of effort to go to a show.
And some of them come from a long way. Some of them it's their local place.
But everybody that I spoke to had a good show, and I think some of the time, like if you're these people who go on a Friday are there to spend money.
Take a day off
Sunday, if on the Sunday it's people who would go in just to have some time. And Saturday's usually the busiest day.
Do you think yesterday was busier than Friday morning? No,
I don't think it was.
We didn't go back. That's the difference that we had. We went both mornings. Friday we then went and met a friend
for
lunch who lives really close, and we've been going for years but never thought to meet her for lunch or anything, although she was working and had smaller children and stuff then. But then on Saturday we went round in the morning, and then we had lunch and we left. But
we also did the bottom bit on the Friday and the top bit on the Saturday, and we didn't really go back.
You went back to...
I went back to one place to buy something that I'd been looking at. Actually, they were at both shows,
and to be honest,
I looked at it for the whole weekend.
Having shown you what we bought at the Southern, we weren't going to buy yarn.
No,
as always happens.
But what was your quote? It's like taking Joe to a fudge shop and saying you can't buy fudge.
You can't eat any of the fudge.
And now all I've been thinking about is fudge.
So, so going to this Unravel, we were both. I knew that there was some yarn I wanted, but we were going to try and be good. Well, rein it in a bit, but I don't know how well that happened. So, shall we start with this? There may be slight crinkling now, just some warning, because I'm going to empty this.
Are we going to try and do it in order?
Well, could do Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, okay.
Upstairs and downstairs.
Right.
She said. So we started off in the cellar, didn't we?
Yeah.
And there were a couple of people that there were quite a few vendors this time that we've never seen before.
I think somebody was saying that they get you to go to the
September
one before they'll let you show at the February one.
Yeah. So in the cellar we went to, the first vendor we went to was Attic Spin Dye. Did you get the stitch markers of those they gave us?
Oh, they're in the bottom of my handbag.
Oh, right, okay.
They were just little,
little
bird cages.
They had some beautiful yarn. They had some lovely yak.
Yeah.
And we both had a skein from them, and they were lovely, weren't they? And we know they're one of Ruth Loves to Knit's favourites. So, and it was her and her husband there, weren't they? I can't remember. Did we find out their names?
I don't think we did.
But
they knew us.
Yeah.
That she watches the podcast.
So I got another skein of yak called Dust.
I'm really sorry that we didn't find out your name, lovely lady. But we did buy some yarn from you, and it's beautiful.
It is absolutely stunning. So
mine is called Sugar and Spice.
Yeah, and yours is beautiful. I decided to go tonal.
Mine's on the merino yak silk
Yeah.
base, and yours is the merino yak.
Because in well, that isn't going to make sense now. I was going to say on the previous on the podcast, or on the when we had the Zoom, I was saying that next year I'm going to knit my both pairs of January socks in January, both like that. So that'll be my socks knitting for the year. But I was looking at this thinking I thought that, but the pair I was going to knit with it are Daphne.
And Daphne's not one of your flowers, I see.
Bridgerton. But you had, they've been in, if any of you have, I've talked about it, I suppose, and it's also been on the Zoom. There's a box, in my living room, there's a box of socks with about 70 pairs of socks that have never been worn. And friends who come, get to pick a pair and stuff like that. And you had Daphne last time.
I did have Daphne.
And Daphne must have been...
Was she the second pair?
She was I knitted, after the whistle down, I knitted her. She was the second pair that I knitted. And, yeah, so...
You're going to replace her.
I've knitted her twice because I knitted her in Bird Street yarn for...
Well, when you've made her in those, I might swap and have those.
And you also made your silk. Premium silk.
Yeah, but that's beautiful.
It is beautiful, yeah. cheeky mare. Yeah, so that was they were in the cellar, and then we met them.
And this reminded me of I don't know, sweets. That rhubarb and custard
but
type.
It's got your murky
murky
olivey green,
and I just loved it. So I don't know what it's going to be. Probably socks, but it's beautiful.
Yeah. And then the next vendor was Dinah's House of Crafts. And I bought a mood. Well, I've been looking at the little sock kind of sack. It was one of those ones with a longer handle and a shorter, and you put it through.
Yeah.
But it's made of leather. And I wanted it in the brown, and they only had it in the black. And you liked it in the black, didn't you? But then she said she was going to get some more, and they're getting a new colour. Yeah. Of all sorts of things. They're getting a chocolate brown coming in. So I was talking about a Notions kind of interchangeable needle kind of pouch with her, and she said, "Oh, what about this one?" And so this is the perfect size. I've got a redesigned one which holds all my Chowgu everything, whole set.
But that is good.
But this, for going away, you can put your whatever needles you need and your crochet hook, whatever, in there. That, I think, is a magnet for needles. And then there's two little pouches for your cables or your scissors, stitch markers, breakfast keepers, and a tape measure maybe. I'm not sure if it would clip, if it would close with a tape measure in. And that's Mood.
That doesn't go. You can't go with Hive, no.
No, that's Mood, which is MUUD. And she was lovely, wasn't she? We were chatting to her for quite a while.
Yeah. And I went back. Shall I show this now?
Yes, I don't know which one it is. Can you see which one it is? Does it have a number?
There. Style is
Halla, and it's in whiskey, and that's in leather. That's leather. That's lovely.
And then I've been looking at this at the Southern, and then I was looking at it with you.
She was at the Southern as well.
Yeah, and I went back. It's the last thing I bought, and it's a little one skein. Would hold one skein of yarn.
Well, easily. And your project.
And it's like a crossbody.
But you can have your yarn coming out.
Yeah, of the little gap.
And inside there's all these little pockets.
Yeah, it's a bit difficult to see in the light with the black, but there's all these pockets.
And then there's pockets on the side.
On the outside, and there's also a zip in the top.
Yeah. So that's really cool.
Yeah. I'm going to take it on the
aeroplane. And then there's me. So when you're sat, we were thinking, what would you use the outside pockets for? But when you're sat at home, you could have your scissors on the outside.
Yeah.
Or whatever. So yeah.
I was thinking it would be really useful for taking to work.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna wait and see if they have a chocolate brown.
I would, and that I took the label. I'll just see the label in the bin. I can't tell you what it's called, but it's like a little barrel, the mini barrel bag.
Yeah. And she also had yarn, and she had a lot of yarn at the Southern. But does she dye it, or is it
Yeah,
other
I think
people's?
so.
Yeah. So definitely check out her website, because she sells a lot of mood, and she was lovely.
Yeah, she was lovely.
And then we went to the Great Hall, which is...
No, we didn't.
Oh no, sorry, yes.
We were chatting to the lady.
Oh, she was lovely.
We didn't get her
Absolutely
name either. I feel really bad.
Yeah.
Didn't ask anybody's names. So I bought some yarn from this lady at Wonderwool, and I said, oh, I really like, because she does a gold stellina. And I was like, I really like the gold stellina. And she had this in her bargain bin.
At the Southern.
At the Unravel. And so I got...
You saw those first, didn't you?
I got those two. Possibly for another...
They're all...
Another Simon.
And they're all just random dark.
Yeah.
Because they're all called Riot. But then she was having... It was 3... From the bargain bin, it's 3 for 40 quid. So I got this one. Which... That would make a lovely Musselburgh.
That would make a lovely Musselburgh.
I think that's going to be my next Musselburgh cast on.
So yeah,
Can you imagine for having a sparkling
I think that's going to be a Simon.
Brilliant. That's what we picked it for. It's gorgeous. That's like figgy, like a black currant with gold stellina. Can you imagine a Simon, sparkly Simon?
Sparkly Simon.
That's where you got to cast that on when you get back, so it's ready for the.
When you get back from holiday.
Yeah. And then we went to the Great Hall.
We did, yes.
And we chatted a lot to All Decanted. Joe's had Joe's had a sample and design. She knitted a Maggie in their plant dyed, botanically dyed.
Their yarn is
they
curate.
Yeah.
It's their blend
for the year, like a vintage they call it. And then they do have their standard colours, and they had a beautiful orange this time called Shepherd's Delight, which was very hard to resist.
And
but
then we saw that lady of knit.
I know.
We saw a lady who'd knit a Hillary.
Oh, it was beautiful.
Shall I see if I can find it?
Yeah. And it was so I forgot about chatting to them. They're just so lovely. So lovely. And
it was in our stories, wasn't it? There we go.
We came
I don't know
back
if you can see that very well, but that was me with the lady wearing her... That's somebody wearing a Simon. Me with a lady wearing her orange Hillary that her mum had knit her. And
her mum was there as well.
Yeah. I don't think she quite realised that I was the designer. It was all a bit confusing. But yeah, it was beautiful to see one in the real life.
The reels, yeah. So I think unless you've got a specific project in mind, their yarn is very much a treat to buy. Although having worn yesterday, I wore the OG Simon. I'm very tempted to buy some Shepherd's Delight and then plate their
natural one.
Yeah, very tempted. Right. Although how many Simons? I've got 3 Simons for the year.
And you've already knit 5. 4.
And a cowl.
Yeah.
So then we walked around and we came to a little big girl, Jem, who was having a nightmare because her
Wi-Fi
her phone wasn't working. She didn't realise she needed the Wi-Fi. Anyway, she sorted it out. We chose some stuff, and we actually took it away with us, didn't we?
Yeah.
Then we went back and paid. But she's lovely, and she makes the best bags. We didn't buy any of her yarn this time. Last time in September we bought a lot of yarn from her.
Yeah.
But we both had a bag. Right, I had a small one last time, and you had a big one on this time.
I had a small one and a big one.
Oh, wow. So aren't they beautiful?
So this was the colourway for the shirt,
Yeah.
wasn't it? This kind of like watercolour.
Oh, it's beautiful. It looks like when people, when people journal and they get a new set of paints, for journaling paint, and then they try them all out. And mine is like citrusy fruit and pomegranates or figs, is it?
Pomegranates. It looks like a pomegranate.
Yeah.
It's been cut weird.
And it's this beautiful. Give me a pastel, a peachy blush pink.
And we like the style,
Yes, we
because the
love them.
handle is just on the back, and it's just the perfect.
Can I have 2 favourite purchases from Unravel?
You can have as many as you want.
Because this isn't on my list at all. But the Mood Notions pouch was on my list as one of my favourite
mood
things.
bag was my favourite purchase.
But this, I think, that was already up. That was a highlight. So if I had to say my favourite purchase, I think this and what I'm going to show in a minute. So, and I also bought a Chow Goo. So Pearlescence weren't there, and they normally, I don't know if maybe they just do the February show. But I wanted to treat myself to another interchangeable 9-inch sock knitting needle, but they weren't there. So, but Jem sells these, the fixed Chow Goos, and I've only ever had one of these, and it was the wrong size.
So you're going to try it?
Yes, I'm going to try a 2.5, which is what I normally knit my socks on. And then she gave me one of the little tags.
Because that's going to be in permanent use, isn't it?
Yeah. So that's brilliant. So we love.
So what were your highlights then?
So my highlights were right. So then we went round with the rest of and we saw the Wensleydale long wool ladies, who were also a highlight of the Southern chat, because Marion didn't chat so much with, I can't remember that lady's name, can you?
I want to say Helen, but I
yeah,
don't think it is.
Please don't. Oh, I forgot that on my list.
I've got that on my list.
And they always offer me a seat.
Yeah.
Because of my...
well, at Unravel, you don't take your walker, do you?
No.
You just take your walking stick, because it's up and down.
The site is not very...
And there are lifts.
But it's a bit clunky,
for everybody. But when last time I ended up carrying the walker up and down the stairs because it was quicker.
Joe's
I've got a bit of a dodgy shoulder at the minute.
So we didn't yet. So I they offered me a seat. And I squeezed in. And my bottom knocked their sales device. I didn't break it, but we had a bit of a laugh about that. And then I was just sat there, and the lady was chatting to both of us like I was there selling. And she was crocheting. She'd already crocheted a granny square cardigan or something, or sweater in
their yarn.
Yeah, but in colours, in many colours. And she wanted to do one in a single colour, but she couldn't work out how much yarn to use. So I was saying, it's if you can knit a sweater, blah, 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 blah. So probably 600 grams, 700, maybe get a spare couple. And I was like, I'll just buy a pack. And she ended up buying 8, and a pack of 10. And then afterwards, the lady who's, I'm really sorry, can't remember your name, was like, just have a pack. You can sit here and sell all day. She didn't obviously take me up on my suggestion, but yeah, that was laughing with them was one of my highlights. And then we went round the corner.
And
you did. There. You did buy yarn there. And we also bought something for the...
Yeah. So...
Joe was wearing this.
I was wearing my blue...
Nettle Morris.
Yeah. and I want to knit a wool version.
So this is a summer weight, I would
Yeah.
say, yeah.
I want to knit a wool version, and I found the exact
Beautiful.
wool. So, and I have not actually knit with their yarn.
No.
I have spoken to them many times, but on the yarn label it says Wensleydale sheep produce the finest and most valuable luster long wool in the world, and it's spun in Yorkshire.
And
I
they
got
are lovely.
Yeah, I got 6 of those to knit a Morris.
And we, and you've got a cone of theirs, haven't you, from previous?
Yes,
That you're
double
gonna-
knit that I haven't used.
So yeah, that was lovely. And then we went around the corner and we saw Ted. And I'd seen a colourway on Ted's.
Ted knits.
Ted Knits UK. He's lovely. And I'd had a sock with him too in February 2023. And this is, I can't say it,
Cooper belt.
Cooper belt. And I'd seen it on his Instagram and I wanted it. So we went. And Joe saw a colourway that he had on, but he had it on DK and Boucle, and it was called Seashells.
And he was like,
Oh,
it's in a kit. I've got it in this kit. I'll break the kit up.
the kit for
Go Dynamo, the new.
Stephen West and KAL. So this is Seashells.
So we were like, we'll just buy the kit.
So we both got. So this was the kit, the 4 of them, and we got
one each.
And the other colourway is Sands of Dawn, DORNE. So yeah, so that.
It's probably going to be socks.
Yeah,
I'm not going to knit together, I don't think.
it's beautiful though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I might knit my November socks in that because that
Yeah.
again, that was lovely, beautiful. Yeah. So and my one of my highlights was Ted's hug. He gives a really good hug, and he also lets me sit in his booth, or stand or whatever you want to call it. And he is just lovely.
Yeah. So my top highlight was spending time with you, staying in a hotel and doing the show over 2 days.
Yeah. So I've got doing the show over 2 days.
I think that was, and we did. We had a lot of time in the hotel.
Yeah.
And stuff, and it was just
Lovely.
really nice.
And we had, so we stayed in the Premier Inn. I'm not endorsing Premier Inns. Believe me, we've had good ones and bad ones. But this time we went for a premium room, and I would say it's definitely
Yeah.
And so when Joe comes to visit me, stay with me, we often sit in bed in the morning, chatting, knitting, drinking coffee. And if we watch something, we have to watch it on the iPad. So it was so nice, wasn't it, having a big telly, being on the bed knitting with a big telly. And I was like, this is worth the money. We'll just go away and do this, shall we? So yes, it was lovely, wasn't it? We just had a lovely time.
Yeah, the most random bit was the evening meal, because they used to have a beef eater next door, and they've closed it to all but hotel guests. So there was very few people in there on a Friday night. And we did see another knitter that we met, was one of the vendors that we saw the next day, which was nice.
Yeah.
And the food was lovely, but just it was a very strange atmosphere. But yeah, we sat and knit and we had a drink and
it was fine.
yeah,
Wasn't it?
it's fine.
So
The second day,
we were doing. So this was you go upstairs and there's 2 rooms, and then you go up again to the 3rd room. So the first person we met was the lady. We went right.
so on the Saturday,
we met a lady
met
bumped
in the
into
queues who was wearing a Simon.
we'd met at
Southern. And her Simon was beautiful, and she was called Debbie as well.
Yeah.
And we sat and had a coffee and
she was a friend of Debbie.
Yeah. We sat and had a coffee and a pastry
lovely
with Debbie
chat.
and a
Hi,
lovely
Debbie.
chat.
It was lovely to spend time with you.
Her Simon was gorgeous,
Yeah.
very classic, black and camel, very classy.
What yarn was it? Did she say? Because she said it to us. She bought I think she bought 4 colourways. She put that together. What did she say it was?
Can't remember.
Debbie, if you could comment what your beautiful yarn was, it was lovely. And she was promoting it, walking around. Thank you, we love you. And so we spent a good 45
Well, we got
minutes.
in at 9:30 and we didn't
Move until 10:15. Yeah, so and a few other people recognised us. One lady came in and she went, "Oh, it's lovely to see a podcaster you recognise straight away." And it was really weird because she was walking towards me and I was thinking to myself, do I know her? Because she's like coming towards me.
And I
didn't know her.
I can't think what I was doing. Oh, I'd left you in the cafe and was going to do, but pay, because we'd had an issue paying for the pixie yarn.
Yeah.
And then I was going to go and buy the mood bag. And I was walking down the corridor and this lady tapped me on, like she came up to me, she went, "I've needed some of your cinnamon snow socks." And she's like, "Yeah, cinnamon snow socks." And I was like, "Oh, Rachel's just in the cafe if you want to go and say hi." She's the loo.
All right.
So she didn't. But yeah, no, it was nice to meet some people who recognised us.
So when we started shopping, we went up to
The Brindle room.
and the first person we met was the lady who had been in the hotel.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. We didn't go there first. We went up to the next floor
And came down.
Oh,
did we?
yeah. We went to
Moonlight Fibre. Which is where this is what I'd seen, apart from the Ted knits. That was like I'd seen Ted knits and I didn't know I was 100% going to get it. I knew I loved it. This I'd seen on her Instagram and I was like, I want it. I've been chatting about it with Kirsty from Wonder Wishes afterwards. She was like, "Oh, almost makes me want to go to." They didn't come to Unravel. So she had dyed. Moonlight Fibres is Jo, isn't she? And she had dyed 80 brushed merino, 20 nylon, 100 gram skeins, 600 meters. So it's very like alpacas, brushed alpaca. Well, it's pretty fluffier actually than brushed. It's lace weight.
much fluffier.
Yeah, but it's so for people who can't have mohair or alpaca.
What is it? Sorry?
It's merino, brushed merino. Nylon.
Oh right! Wow.
And there was lots of different colours. I picked these two to be a Simon.
I can't wait to see what that turns out like.
Yeah, and it's cappuccino. And
You can do a little. What needles do you think you're going to knit it on?
it's on 3.5.
Are you? I would do it on
Less.
no higher.
At 4.
I would probably do it on at least a 3.75
Okay. And this is teal time.
because you don't want it to be dense, do you? You want it to be
Fluffy, light and
Yeah.
fluffy. Yeah, and there's 600 meters.
yeah.
So yeah,
Oh, it's gorgeous.
it is the softest.
That makes me
thing.
think of fudge even more.
You're going to get you some fudge, don't worry. And then this,
Cappuccino.
she had some lovely colours, didn't she?
Yeah, she did.
They were mostly tonals. And so
What's that
I
one
would
called? Sorry, I missed that.
teal time, and this was the one that I wanted,
Could be tea time and cappuccino.
and I would automatically pick
That's
a pink,
so gorgeous.
or the shade of pink and a raspberry, like a brighter pink, to go with it. But I went out of my wheelhouse and I went cappuccino, and I just thought autumn, lovely.
Yeah.
So yeah, so Jo's going to take them home and wind them for me, and when she gets back from her next weekend, then we'll see you. Yeah, hopefully I'll finish my Simon by then.
Yeah.
Proper podcast. So yeah, so this is Moonlight Fibre, and thoroughly recommend, and a very good value too.
And she's lovely.
She is lovely, and her mum was there. And
Yeah,
she
we
was lovely
chatted
as
to
well.
her mum for ages.
Yeah, so
Loved
but then
it.
next door to her was the green and the glass, who is, I can't remember her name either. Wendy? I want to say Wendy, but she's
I don't know if
lovely.
I actually know her name. She's
She's-
from Birmingham, and we talk
Yeah,
about,
and we've
because
met-
I went to university in Birmingham.
And we've met her loads, and she was a friend of Sophie's. And when she first started making stitch markers, Sophie was she's not selling them, but promoting them and telling people, you know. And when she very first started, I always shared her stories and stuff, and we love her stuff. We bought bags from her. We bought like I've got one a knitter pin and all sorts of, you know. She sells lovely stuff, but she makes the
stitch markers
and progress keepers.
And I just love this set because I like a little mushroom. And these are stitch markers and perfect for a sweater where you've got beginning of the round and then your increases.
Yeah. And I got progress keepers, which are these lovely grey circular beads with a purpley pinky bead below, and then there's an owl who's like got a back, front and a back. So very kind of owls make you think of autumnal. Though obviously owls are around all year. An owl isn't just for Christmas. No, it isn't just for autumn. But I do prefer a progress keeper with a thing on it. I like my stitch markers to be a bead. So maybe have a... Yeah. And then...
Nellie and Eve.
Yes. She was next to Green and Glass.
Yeah. So we got chatting.
We've chatted to her. We've never bought her yarn.
Yeah,
which is a bit. We should have purchased something.
We got chatting to Helen.
We've chatted to her a few times,
and we're round about the same age. So we were having a laugh about
things,
mojo sweets, and
all sorts of things.
Going to school in the 70s and that kind of thing.
And I said to her, it'd be lovely if Jo could design a shawl in your yarn. It's beautiful. She is a botanical yarn dyer.
Yeah.
And so we got chatting, and I said to you, I said that to her, and then I said to you, I think you need to design a Rachel shawl. And it turns out that Helen's best friend is called Rachel as well. So Jo is going to design a shawl.
And the plan is for
it to come out in
the February show at Unravel.
We're all keeping our fingers crossed that she gets a stand.
Yeah. So,
but beautiful, absolutely beautiful yarn.
So Rachel picked this colour, which is Camellia number 7, and the yarn base is it's a single farm BFL.
Yeah.
And it's very local to Helen yarn.
Yeah.
So like somebody down the road from her.
And it's going to be a
sheep to skein in under 25 miles of my studio in West Wales.
It's going to be a 2 skein crescent, isn't it?
Already got some ideas.
Yeah.
So
we
won't be showing. It's going to be a while before I start, at least.
Yeah. No, I think you should show it literally just before you.
Yeah.
She's going to do some of the photography.
Yeah. So watch this space next year probably for this beginning of next year.
But definitely go and check out her yarns.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try and make Jo put the websites of people on as well as just the Instagram.
Well, we can do it between us, can't we, in the show notes?
Yeah, the ones you've got, you can do then. Yeah. Send the rest to me.
So it's lovely to meet Helen. We had a really
chatted
nice
for ages to her, didn't we? And then...
So one of those things when you chat to the vendor for ages, you think, are we stopping anybody else buying? But she seemed quite happy to be chatting to us. So
yeah, and then we chatted. Along from her was Ginger Pink, which we didn't really stuck
I
out.
bought yarn from Ginger Pink
in February.
at the Techbury, not
Oh, right.
Techbury, the Sodbury Yarn Over.
Yeah. So then it was the knitting shed, which we did. So you were just chatting to them, weren't you?
Yeah.
And I went and sat down on the seat and got chatting to a lady.
Well, they had a shawl sample, and I just wanted to know what the base was because it was so soft, and it was that merino mohair. And then you were sat, and I was having a look at some other things, and I saw these, which I really liked. There was a lady who'd crocheted. She had necklaces and earrings and these little stitch markers, progress markers.
They're really cute.
And I think they're really cute. So I got some of those.
I've got that yarn in the middle.
That one.
I make snowflakes with it.
Yeah,
crochet
feels
snowflakes
like
with
dishcloth.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought they were really cute. That was Crochet Kebab. And she said on her website she has every combination of colour of whatever you want, and if what you want isn't there, you can get in touch with her, because I really liked the necklace, but she didn't have what I wanted there. But she said if you look on her website, she has literally every combination.
Yeah.
So I'll put that down in the show notes. And then I went to this.
Yeah. They were lovely,
Yeah.
weren't
So I was looking at this and I thought this was double knitting. It's 4-ply.
Wow.
And it's also a locally sourced yarn.
Yeah. They're based in Ilfracombe in Devon.
Yeah. And then they sort the yarn into different colours and do the different dyes.
So they're organic.
They're organic. I'm going to knit a Simon cowl.
We made them up.
In that. Yeah. Yeah, so one's, I don't know what the different colours are.
No. Pure organic Shetland. Natural freeze colour. It just says.
Yeah. They're Middle Camp Scott.co.uk. And it looks like
Hold that a bit closer because it's quite faint.
Organic wool and woolen products, lamb and beef from our organic farm. We can also be found at Ilfracombe Farmers Market on the first Saturday. So I like that because a lot of our family grew up in Devon and Dorset, and
Lovely.
our dad's mum used to be the headmistress of a school in a little village called Wool. That's in Dorset. So, and it's spun in Cornwall. So I really like that, and it's so soft.
Yeah. That beige one's softer than the brown one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, that was really cool. I'm running out of space in my bag. And then we must have gone down to this one.
Yeah. Mine's in a crinkle trade because they're biodegradable, but they're incredibly slippy and incredibly crinkly. And she is the silly little sheep, and she was the lady that we saw knitting in the restaurant.
Yeah.
And she just does minis basically, doesn't she?
She had a couple of full skeins, I think, but
So she had 50 grams. She has gradients, and so
what she does is she dyes it in one. She dyes that in one tray,
right, and then divides it into minis. No,
so that you get that is dyed like that, so you don't have to match up the gradient.
Right. So
I think that's what she
mine
said.
is called Forest School, and it's 10 gram. So it's 100 grams altogether. And she had a hitchhiker, but I'm going to do a one skein one of yours.
Page. The
Not-
garter.
No, I'm going to do the
Texture
texture
one.
one. I think.
Piper.
That was lovely.
And I bought, so she had a thing, she had this like mound of minis. And you could get 10 for so much money or
Yeah.
20 or whatever. And I got 10.
Yeah.
And I don't know what I'm going to do with them. But I just loved all those colours.
Yeah. And she gave us one.
She gave us one for the
gift away.
So yeah, it's lovely to meet that lady as well.
What was her name? Did she? Yeah,
I don't think she told us her name.
But she started following us. Because I was telling her about the Power of Three, and she said, "Oh, and have you not knitted one yet?" And I said, "No, Jo designed them. She's knitted all of them." Oh, she was very interested then. Yeah. So then there's nothing else in that room that we bought purchase from, was there?
And then we went into the other room,
The last room, which is the
Tyndall room.
which is where we were both times when we were with Botanical Yarn, helping out. She wasn't there this year, in the September. So then we
had a look round. We got something at the Urban Purl.
Yeah, the Alex Collins was there with her lovely bags, but you bought one last time, and who the person was against the like there when you walked in. That room normally has vendors down the middle, has a lot more. I mean, if you go in February, it's definitely I would definitely go for 2 days if I was going in February. This was nicer, like Jo said, about splitting it up and spending a bit more time just together knitting, and I was definitely less tired by doing that way. But like I say, but then obviously we weren't going to buy any yarn, so.
But I really like the Urban Purl.
Yeah, but she's so lovely.
Oh yeah, we were chatting to, I don't know her name either.
We're so
bad. Anyway,
rubbish.
I saw it's lace weight, merino silk and yak, and the colourway is Obsession, and that is just another one that's me and a skein. So I think I'm just going to knit a garter like I did with the Betty.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Love it.
Perfect.
And then Pixie yarn was
this one.
Oh yeah, Gail.
Then I saw Gail again. I completely forgot to go back to Gail at the Southern because I really wanted a bag like Jo's, but she didn't have any more. So I was looking at all of them and blah, 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 blah. And I just picked this little pyramid bag, which would easily fit, maybe not a 100-gram skein, but if you had socks, and that's a card, if you had socks like 250-gram balls, you could easily, and I really like them because it's got spots inside. How did I get away with that all this time without that happening? So you can hang it on something or put your stitch markers on there, and then it just go in the bag. So isn't that beautiful fabric? So, and we also bought something for one of you guys. Yes, and then we saw Pixie, who is Sophie. We know her name because we've known Sophie for a long time now.
And you wanted to pick up.
Oh yeah, I was hoping that she had these, which is the third instalment of her Footsteps Yarn Club, which I was buying every quarter instead of getting an advent calendar. But I'm also getting an advent calendar. But these are the next instalment.
They're beautiful.
Yeah. So I need to start winding up some of the other ones and casting on.
What are you going to make?
I was going to do crochet my fade, but I'm not sure. I think there's too much yarn. Pardon me. It's like 2,000
Right.
20 and 40 meters, which is 5 skeins, and you need 3 skeins for it. Maybe I should knit that Stephen West one I've got, which is the 5. Just knit that one.
Yeah.
I just want something that's, I don't know, I want something wearable,
Yeah.
basically. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you get
No.
to the end and you've got some left, is it? It's still going to look like
you can always put it in a blanket, can't you, or whatever. And I bought this skein. I've not used boot clay before, but I loved that colourway.
That's a 450. That's a fingering weight, but
yeah,
a lot.
And I'm just going to knit a 1 skein with that.
How gorgeous!
Because you can't do a texture really or anything with that. It just needs to be.
I think it just needs to be a cowl, not a.
Why?
I don't know. It's just something that's going to be really squished around your neck.
I don't particularly like cowls like that. So
no, one like yours, but
oh right. I don't know. Anyway, it's going to be a 1 skein something.
you can have a hat.
Yeah, maybe it should be a hat, but it's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love those colours.
Or how about bed socks?
No, I don't think so.
Squishy.
Do you think I could knit socks with that?
Give it a good try.
Anyway, it was just gorgeous.
Yes.
So that was my last purchase.
That was my last purchase. Well, you went back.
Oh, I went back and bought
you went back and
them,
bought them
right.
for us. Yeah. So, what's our recap of our?
So my top one was 5 things: spending time with you in the hotel and doing the show over 2 days. I met a tester.
Oh yeah.
I think she might be called Debbie as well.
I think she's
Davina. Really sorry, but it was lovely to meet you. She's currently testing for me. You could look it up. And then also people who've knit patterns and watched the podcast. That was a nice highlight. It's such a quiet and unrushed show.
Yeah.
And I really
You
like that.
preferred it,
I would
didn't you?
promote that too. Well, the thing is, I went to the February one on my own.
But also, if you promote it, more people will go.
Yeah.
Well, not saying that we're that much. We're not influencers in the slightest. If more people go, it's not. It would be
I'm
different.
not saying I would have preferred that one on my own either. But yeah, it was.
It's weird for you to go on your own.
It was weird to go on my own.
Yeah.
But and then anyway, the next thing was meeting Helen from Nellie and Eve. And my final highlight was my sandwich that I had in their little restaurant cafe. They do toasties and things like that all the time, and then they definitely have a meal of the day, and they do like open sandwiches, and they change them seasonally, I think. But this one was a brisket, and it had like a coleslaw-y, I think it's like celeriac coleslaw on rye bread.
It looked like spicy, like the mayonnaise looked.
Yeah, had like spices in it. And then some salad and some shaved horseradish. And it was absolutely delicious.
Mine was delicious as well, but I wouldn't say it was. I had a focaccia with mozzarella and.
My favourite sandwich ever was the meatloaf sandwich in New York, and this has topped it.
Really? Wow. Well, there you go then. I think I think this is my favourite purchase. Discovery of a new base and everything. And I loved my little grey girl bag. I also think that I loved she was such a lovely, and I really hope that that she can get found a bit more or go to more be at more shows and stuff, because her work was lovely.
Right.
So the gift away.
Yeah.
So these are the things that we've chosen for you guys.
And there'll be two. There's two prizes. So what are we going to get people to do?
I don't know if you're going to say Unravel or Southern. Well, if you've been to either of them, maybe say which is your favourite. But we need a question, don't we, with an answer? But we'd kind of like to know which. I guess we can just ask when they.
Yeah.
That's a bit because you need. No, when we've shown you what the gift is, you need to say in the comment whether you want the Unravel one or the Southern one, because if we pick two winners and they both want the same one, it's a bit tricky. Yeah. And then we can pick. We can do the random Southern and a random Unravel generator. Yeah. So this is mainly the Southern. So the first thing we picked for you guys is from Tabby and Tweed, who are lovely, and we chatted to them. They watched the podcast before they even became a shop, and they do this weaving kits for. This is a very beginner one. This is a weaving bookmark kit. You get everything you need: the yarn and even a needle to darn, and the little loom. You can use it again and again. Yeah, so they're Tabby and Tweed. That's their little card. And I'll give that to Jo so she can have all the info. And then we also picked up for you from the knitting gift shop. We picked these should I get them out?
Little
tin with a hedgehog on. And we saw a hedgehog at the Southern, didn't we? And trying to hide under by a drain pipe. So this has got 5. Are they all hedgehogs? No, there's an autumn leaf. They're progress keepers. And there's if I pass them, you can hold them up. There's an autumn leaf, a little hedgehog like that, black one, a brown one. Another leaf and another black hedgehog. So there's 5 progress keepers in this lovely little tin. That's part of the gift away. And then we have the lovely Bex from Bex Creates gave us some progress keepers to gift away. So there's a lovely progress keeper from her, and then this little mini that we picked from the silly little sheep, and that's called Pencil Case. So that's one.
And then we've got another Bex progress keeper, and then we've got a little notions pouch from Gail. So in the same triangle pyramid shape as Rach.
Take that. I don't think we need.
And that's got a really lovely red gingham inside. So that's your notions. And then from Wensleydale Longwool, we got an Emma Ball glasses, screens, tablets, and camera microfiber cloth with the sheep wearing sweaters.
Sheep in sweaters, which are really cute. And then a little kit.
High price, and with the price off with a rubber in afterwards.
A little kit to make these ornaments, which are sheep wearing sweaters,
which we thought was just
and that comes with the little sheep, wooden sheep, and then these yarns to knit them with,
and the instructions, obviously.
Yeah. So they're really
cute. This one is Unravel, and that one is Southern.
So in the comments, just
let us know which one you want rather have.
And then perfect.
Yeah.
I might even add some stickers do it. You take that up. Yeah. No, we're not going to have any Valentine stickers. I'm having all the stickers.
Right.
Cool. Yeah.
So I hope you've enjoyed that. It's quite a long podcast.
It turned out to be quite a long podcast.
We are hoping to be able to even podcast next weekend if we get a chance. And that will be a normal podcast where we show you progress.
But we probably won't have bought anything. So that's a good idea.
Yeah.
So it'll just be FOs and whips. But the reason we didn't, obviously now because it's this long, we've only had a week to really knit. So, and we'd like to show a bit more progress than I've made progress, believe me.
I've got an FO.
But we'll be talking about those.
Yeah.
Hopefully before Jo goes away and goes away.
Yeah.
Cool.
So,
yeah.
So yeah, it was lovely to we had a lovely time. It's one of
And,
our favourite 10 days of the year. And we will be back soon.
Our hearts are full.
Yeah, if you did enjoy that, like and subscribe. We say that. Try and say that every time.
Yeah.
And we'll see you soon.
We're edging towards 2,000 subscribers, and we'd kind of like to get there by the end of the year, maybe. We are a slow growing channel. So happy knitting, everybody. And
have a good week.
Yeah.
And we will see you soon.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.